What's up, guys? We are back in full freaking attack. Today we're checking out a DG Audio 8K. This is the 8000.1 DG. If you haven't seen these guys, they're in St. Lucia and Barbados. You can check them out at dgaudio.net. They're also on Instagram at dgaudio246. So check them out. They have a lot of other items, not only amplifiers, but speakers, batteries, mids, tweeters. So they have everything. So I've definitely checked them out. So they give you a bass knob with the power LED, bass cable, and some paperwork that shows the output. And on this particular amplifier, here are the specs. It's showing 8,000 at 1 ohm, 4,200 at 2 ohm, and 25 at 4 ohm. So we'll see if it does that. But so far, I've done a couple of these amps, and they've all done really well. So as far as I'm concerned, this company makes good amps. None of them have ever blown or done anything bad on the dyno, so they're definitely solid amps. The build quality seems good, but we'll get to the bottom of this 8K. 8K is a lot of power, so we'll see what happens on the dyno with this one, but nice looking amp. It's not too big for an 8K. So on the end here, we got one RCA input, one output. That's if you want to loop out to another amp. We got our crossover, our gain, bass boost. We do have a power, protect, and clip LED. We got big 4-gauge speaker outputs. This amp is 1 ohm stable. And on this side, we have dual cooling fans and big double 1-aught inputs. Make sure you use these double inputs on this amp and use OFC because this is going to take some juice for sure. So let's go ahead and get this thing hooked up and see what it puts out. So we got it all connected here. This does have the fans, and the fans are pretty quiet, so that's a big plus. Well, let's go ahead and get started. So as usual, we're starting out with the certified test. This runs the power test all the way up, and it stops at 1% THD. So certified is the max clean, undistorted power. So we're looking for 2,500 watts. Can it do it? And we already did it. And this is the most critical test because it stops at 1% THD. So if it hits the power certified, that's very good. So we did 2658, 4 ohms certified, and the spec said 25. So did over. That's very good. And these fans are quiet on this amp, which is nice because some of the other fans on the tear amps and such, they're a little bit loud and annoying. So it's nice that the fans are quiet, especially if you have the amp somewhere where you can hear the fans. All right, so let's go to the uncertified test. This runs all the way up to clipping. So this is basically the max power output with a constant sine wave. So we already did over 2,500 uncertified. So let's see if it puts out any more here. The efficiency seems really good on this amp. Really good. We'll do the chart later. 2685, very, very good. Notice the voltage. I'm not running like 16 volts on this amp to get power. So it's doing that on a conservative wattage. So now let's hit it with some dynamic burst. You guys know what this is. This is like when you have a kick drum on rock music. 2753. Very good power. 2773. Very good power, man, at 4 ohm. So this is definitely a monster. Let's go ahead and get ready for the 2 ohm test. And it's rated at 4,200 watts is what the specs say. So will it do it? I'm feeling pretty confident. You guys can check out my other videos. I've done a few of these amps from this company. They're really good. And I'll be honest with you guys, I get scared doing full bridges because sometimes if they're not built well, they'll pop on the dyno. I didn't have one issue, one protect, nothing on any of these DG amps. So there you go, guys. The specs say 42. It did 4639. Certified, stopping at 1% THD, so that's clean power. And again, the current, this thing seems very efficient. I'll put a chart up at the end, but so far I think the efficiency on this amp is going to be excellent. So 4639 at 2 ohm. Let's see if it does any more uncertified up to clipping here. And some guys ask, what's the reading that you should pay attention to? On subs, on sub amps, because you don't really hear distortion or you're not really worried about it, I would say uncertified if you're listening to long bass music with drawn out notes. But if you just listen to rock music, then dynamic is totally relevant because it's real power. It's just short bursts like of kick drum bass. Now, if you're talking about a 4-channel full range, I'd go the certified number because you obviously don't want distortion on a full range. 4709. Uncertified up to clipping. Spec said 42. So this amp is doing well over what it said. So I'm really liking these amps. I know some guys were saying the pricing seems high, but remember, they're not in the United States. So I think that's why. Some other countries, because the exchange rate or just the economy, the pricing is different. So keep that in mind because I get a lot of comments about that, but I think that's a big factor. All right, dynamic burst 2 ohm. See if it can hit over the 47. Oh, there we go. Man, about $5,000. It's a lot of power at 2 ohm. And again, look at the voltage. I'm only running it around 14 volts, so it's putting this power out. Other amp dyno guys, sometimes they'll run 16 volts and whatnot. And I don't know. I don't do that because it's like, who's going to run 16 volts? That's almost like giving a cheat to the amp, trying to get more power out of it. All right, so let's move on to the 1 ohm test. The test we've all been waiting for. Can it do 8K? And man, it's right there on the edge. 7869 certified. And again, that's totally clean power. 1% THD distortion. Let's go ahead and do the uncertified test. Like I was saying, with sub amps, uncertified is kind of the more important number because distortion doesn't really come into play on sub frequencies and subs. So let's see if it will hit it uncertified. I'm feeling confident. And we are just knocking on the door. 7965. I'll call that a pass, man. That's like right there. And that efficiency, man, the efficiency on this amp seems excellent. So I really like these amps. I wish they would add shipping to the United States or something because these are actually really good amps. You know, I know you guys think all full bridges are the same. No, they're not. Like a lot of them, they'll pop on the dyno. You know, so it's like they can't handle it. I've done like 4 of these amps now and they're super solid. So they're actually doing a good job on the quality of these amps. So I wish they would ship to the United States, but maybe they will in the future. But if you guys are definitely in the area, St. Lucia, Barbados, these are good amps, man. I mean, they're solid. So it says a lot that I haven't had any issues with these things. All right, well, let's go ahead and hit it with some dynamic and see how much more we get. I'm sure we're going to get over 8 dynamically for sure. But we will see. I might throw this amp in my truck for a while. This would be a good one maybe to throw in and test. Yeah, there we go. $79.99. So right basically at 8,000. So very good amplifier. Well, I'll put the results chart up now, and I'm glad this amp did great. Never went into protect, nothing. Not skipping a beat. And if you guys have seen other amp dynos, there's a lot of the amps that will stress out and go into protect. I've never had any issue with these DG amps. Let's go ahead and get the results chart up and check out what this thing did. All right, so here are the results, and as I suspected, this thing is super efficient. if you guys have watched enough amp dynos, I mean, there's a lot of amps that are just 70%. So this thing is hitting over 80% in a couple spots, 79%, and even down at 1 ohm, 70% and 76%. So the efficiency on this amp is very good. And you can see it hit all the numbers at 2 ohm and 4 ohm, and at 1 ohm it was just under, but I mean it was so close. That's a full-on pass as far as I'm concerned. Great efficiency on this amp. All right, well, let's get the back off and see what's inside this thing. All right, so here are the guts of this amplifier. Again, super nice, clean work on this board. Everything's soldered, clean, nothing wonky. You can see the 2 large, quiet fans on the end. There's also a center fan that blows down through the board, which is nice. Not a lot of amps have that. And it blows out through the heatsink. So you're getting cross ventilation inside and then through the board, which is nice. And you can see they use silicone on the power supplies. And see, that's where the air is getting transferred from outside right underneath the board. So a lot of high-end amps have that, like some of the Orion HCCAs. So that's very good to help keep things cool. But so far, this has been a great amp, man. You guys could let me know what you think. But 8,000 watts, it did it. The efficiency is better than most of the full bridges I've tested. So great amp. Again, check them out, dgaudio.net. Check them out on Instagram, dgaudio246. And let me know what you guys think. But so far, man, I'm Team DG. I wish they were available in the United States because these are solid amps for sure. If you guys like the content, please like and subscribe, man. It would really help me out. Check out my new website, HiFiVector.com. I sell bass knobs, amp cooling fans, even came out with a new high output competition cooling fan. But all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.